Donald Trump just held yet another disastrous press conference at the G7. His behavior today, worse than ever, odder than ever. He professed his love to the leader of Egypt. He talked about how they fell in love at a hotel, and then he stayed at the hotel with the leader of Egypt longer than anybody expected. Then Donald Trump met with Prime Minister Modi of India and also said, that I love you and you look like such a handsome, nice looking man, but you're actually a really good negotiator. Then Donald Trump said in a press conference, the stock market is the smartest thing out there, smarter than Rubio, smarter than anybody in his cabinet. Trump said, I can't be Herbert Hoover. I can't do that to the stock market. So my focus right now is on the stock market. Donald Trump also said that the leadership in Iran is occupied now by a bunch of great people who certainly deserve to keep all of their ballistic missiles. And Trump says, of course they should keep their ballistic missiles. Why would we try to have them get rid of those? And then Donald Trump also said, though, that this memorandum of understanding is not really a deal. And he goes, and if I don't like the way it goes in 60 days, I could just go back to bombing them. I want to show you what went down every step of the way here. So here Donald Trump was at the working session and he couldn't even figure out how to use his chair. And you'll see he doesn't know how to lift the chair up. And he was struggling to just even sit. And so they had to move a new chair versus just touch the handle on the bottom of the chair and lift it up. Watch for yourself what took place here. Let's play it.
You know what? This is the UN.
Oh, is that it?
I'm kidding.
Remember, that's funny. Oh, that's much better. It's so funny. Oh, that's much better. Thank you, Mark. I'll remember that.
And then similarly, when Donald Trump was with Sisi, the leader of Egypt, Donald Trump also really struggled to sit into the chair and to sit down. Now, why am I showing this to you? Because he really can't accomplish the most basic of functions right now on the world stage, yet alone actually be involved in policy and coherent speeches. I'm going to show you what he said in a second, but just watch this.
Thank you very much.
Okay, then Donald Trump told the Egyptian president al-Sisi that, remember when we met in the hotel and we fell in love? We were deeply in love with each other, and I stayed in your hotel room more than anybody thought. I'm not exaggerating what he's saying here, just so you can hear for yourself. Let's play this clip.
From day one, I met him early in the campaign when Crooked Hillary and I were running against each other, right? And I was told that the president of Egypt is here. That was a big deal. It's still a big deal for me to be with the great president of Egypt, but not as big as it used to be before I ran. So he was in a hotel and I met him. And we fell in love, deeply in love. And he didn't even want to see Hillary. He said, you're going to win. I don't want to meet her. He said, you're going to win. He didn't want to see her. Remember that? So we had a good relationship right from the beginning. No, we met. We didn't know each other before that. We had great chemistry. And I stayed twice as long as I was supposed to. It took up her time. And then when it was her time, he didn't want to meet with her. But he did because he's a gentleman. But it lasted about 1 minute. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for asking me, guys. Thank you for asking me.
And then Donald Trump met with Prime Minister Modi. Same thing. You're a beautiful looking man. You're so handsome. You look so nice and so good looking, but you're a good negotiator. Here, let's play this clip.
So you look at this man. I'll give you a lesson. He's the most beautiful looking man. He looks so nice. He's like an angel. But actually, he's as tough as he's a killer. I don't want to, he's a killer. He's as tough as they come, but he looks so good. So he gets you by surprise. But there's few people like this. People say, he's such a nice man. I said, no, he's very tough. He's a tough traitor.
Then while Donald Trump was ranting, he made some sound, which if you listen, it sounds like he was passing gas while he was giving this press conference. Let's play this clip.
We ended up with the original members, but then when the election was rigged, that's right.
He spent a lot of this press conference also trying to swat flies And he would say, I almost got that sucker. I almost got that sucker. Here, play this clip.
Well, it's not that they could stop us if we didn't want them to, but it'd be nice that I went to get that little sucker. But I missed. I hate missing. But we spoke to all of them in many countries all over the world.
And then he also talked about men walking around with no legs. Men who are walking with no legs, and that 96.3% of the men walking with no legs were caused by Iran's former general Soleimani. Here, play this clip.
Young men, and in some cases women, mostly men, walking around without legs, without arms, with a face that's been blown to smithereens. It's Soleimani, 95%, 96.2 they say or something. 95%. That was Soleimani did it.
Then on to the press conference that Donald Trump had, where after professing his love for Prime Minister Modi of India, al-Sisi of Egypt, he then says the same thing about the Iranian leadership. These are incredible people. I like them. They love their country. They're strong. They're proud. They're tough men. Here, let's play this clip.
So we got free reign. They didn't have their leaders. But they have a new group of leaders that I think is, actually, I think they're smarter. I think they're very smart. I think they're far less radicalized. And I think they're really good. They love their country. You talk about.
And then on the issue of ballistic missiles, Trump goes, I like these guys. Why should they not have ballistic missiles? Saudi Arabia has ballistic missiles, so give the Iranians ballistic missiles. Let's play this clip.
In the history of our country. So we'll be working on a parallel effort with the Gulf nations to address non-nuclear issues such as the conventional ballistic missiles, which we'll be talking about, and support. I mean, they have to have some because other people have some. You got to have some. Somebody said you shouldn't give them more. And I have guys. I like some of these guys, but I don't think they're smart. Sir, you shouldn't let them have any missile. I said, well, what am I going to do? Am I going to let Saudi Arabia have missiles, but they can't have them? Yes, sir. It doesn't work that way, It doesn't work that way. And missiles aren't the problem. Missiles they hurt a little location, but they don't blow up the planet. So the Gulf nations will address the non-nuclear issues.
And then he says, but let me tell you who's the most brilliant of all. It's the stock market. And that's what my focus is. Now, as Aaron Rupert says, take a look at Rubio's face when Donald Trump says, hey, Rubio, isn't the stock market smarter than you? Here, let's play this clip.
I know, as every time we talked about the possibility of peace, the stock market shot up like a rocket ship. It never went down. They didn't like it. The people, the stock market is more brilliant than anybody there is, including the people on the stage, other than me, of course. Let's see. I don't know. What do you think, Scott? Is the stock market more brilliant than you?
No, sir.
Oh, that's a terrible statement. All right. The stock market is quite brilliant.
And then Trump said, but I don't want to be the late, great Herbert Hoover, who was the president during the Great Depression. That's my biggest fear. Let's play this clip.
Amazing, like we're going to settle, it would go up. And every time we said something negative, like, guess what, we're not going to be able to settle, it would go down very big, Peter, right? Very, very big. Tells you something. And I've studied presidents, some good, some bad, some great. Not too many are great. And some really bad. We had one just recently. And the one president I did not want to be was the late, great Herbert Hoover. I didn't want that. And who knows what would have happened. But bad things happen. So the past.
And then Donald Trump said, the deal reached with Iran on Sunday will be signed shortly. Tomorrow, maybe the next day. I make deals, maybe crazy deals. But that's me just doing crazy deals. Also, it should be noted, there was a weird report this morning from Trump's stenographer and propagandist over at Axios, Barack Ravid, that says they may be moving up the signing of the agreement to today. But didn't they already electronically sign it on the weekend, so they're going to re-sign it again today. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. They said, yeah, and may need a double signature in addition to a signing in Switzerland. None of this is making any sense, but play this clip.
So the deal we reached with Iran on Sunday will be signed shortly. Tomorrow, maybe the next day. Subject deals. My whole life is all about deals. That's all I ever did is make deals. And crazy things happen with deals. I've gone into deals where it's a guarantee. No way it can not be signed. And it doesn't get signed. And I've gone into deals that you have no chance of making, and they go like nothing. So, but we're going to most likely sign a deal. They want to sign a deal. And they've been acting very appropriately. They took a big 2 hits last week. Those are 2 very big hits. So
then Donald Trump is asked, so, is this a final agreement? And Trump goes, no, it's just a memorandum of understanding. We'll go back to shooting them soon if I just don't like it. Let's play this clip.
If they don't behave, we'll go right back to dropping bombs right smack in the middle of their head. Okay? Because they've misbehaved for 47 years. All right?
Does it include
but nobody could have made this deal. I mean, the JCPOA done by Obama, he handed him $1.7 billion in cash, gave him hundreds of millions of dollars, gave him billions and billions of dollars, but he gave him $1.7 billion in cash, green cash from banks, into a Boeing 757 and flew it into Iran. And they stood at the plane. I have pictures of it like, oh my, look at this money he's giving.
And then Trump says, the thing you need to know about the Iranians is Muhammad. Yeah, Muhammad. They have lots of Muhammads. So someone goes in 50-50, their name's going to be Muhammad. And that's how you deal with the Iranians. That's how you do deals. You go, hey, Muhammad, right? And they may say no. You go, well, I got a 50-50 shot of calling you Muhammad. This is what Donald Trump is saying at the G7. Let's play this clip.
We have Space Force cameras on every single door, well, there are no doors, they've been pretty well shattered, but every area of that, if somebody walks in and he's got a badge with his name on it, like Mohammed something, which is about a 50-50 guess, Mohammed something, they can tell the name, they can give you a serial number, we can see things you wouldn't believe the quality of the stuff that we have. That's why we've been so successful. That's why our
And then Donald Trump again says, look, let's just let people invest in Iran. Why wouldn't we let them? This is an investment. We're talking money. We're talking about stock market. You want to invest in Iran? Do your investments. I don't see the big deal. Let's play this clip.
And unlike Barack Hussein Obama, who sent Iran pallets of cash, and any relief they receive under this deal, they'll have to get based on merit. And it won't be from us. We don't have to give them anything. But some people may want to invest. Like, what are you going to do? Say you can never, ever invest in a country? I mean, it's pretty tough. I don't mind being tough, but it's pretty crazy. You can invest in a country. You can invest in any country you want, but you can't invest there.
Going back to Donald Trump with Prime Minister Modi, he was very touchy-feely with him, holding his hand, touching his legs. Let's play this clip.
India can do anything they want with us. We have the best relationship. We cannot be closer than we are. Would you say that, sir? I don't think we can be any closer. Both him and I and our nations, but it really starts with the two of us. We cannot be closer.
Then Donald Trump started attacking former President Obama at the G7, and he said that Iran laughed at Obama and said he was a stupid son of a bitch. How embarrassing for the President of the United States to be behaving like this on the world stage. Let me show you what he said. Let's play it.
Of it, like, oh my, look at this money he's giving us. He tried to bribe his way out. I didn't do that. Nobody mentions that. 1.7 billion and hundreds of millions of dollars. They tried to bribe their way out of it. And you know what the Iranians did? They laughed at Obama and they said he's a stupid son of a bitch. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
And then he was asked the following question by Ducey over at Fox. A wise man once said in January 2020, Iran never won a war, but never lost a negotiation. And as Ducey was going to finish asking the question, Trump said, who said that? That was your line. You said that. And also, if you're saying right now that the Iranians were saying that about Obama, which they weren't, what do you think they're saying about you? Here, play this clip of that Ducey exchange.
I did just want to ask you about this. A wise man once said in January of 2020, Iran never won a war, but never lost a negotiation. That wise man.
Who said that?
Donald Trump.
Oh, that's what I thought you were going to say.
So how do you go back to the United States and convince a skeptical American public that this deal is a win?
Here they lost militarily, okay? It's very tough because I know that no matter what, if I would go, by the way, if I'd go another 3 or 4 weeks, those same people that are critical would say, he went too long, he should have done, No.
And then Trump, though, at a very serious level, has asked important questions like, who is more responsible for the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, Russia or Ukraine? Trump goes, I can't comment on that. Let's play this clip.
And at this point, do you feel that Vladimir Putin is more responsible for the ongoing conflict in Ukraine?
Well, I don't want to comment on that because I'm trying to get it settled, and that doesn't make it easy.
And then Trump says, when it comes to the deal, though, I did with Iran, it's very strong, but nobody knows what's in it. Bingo. Let's play this clip.
And you can't give Iran a nuclear weapon, and they will never have a nuclear weapon. So that's very, very strong. It's a very strong deal. Nobody knows what it is, but it's very strong. And most people seem to be very happy. Who's really happy is the market.
And then he goes back to it's a memorandum of understanding, and then no one knows that it's not really binding, even though it is. Let's play this clip.
Then it's a memorandum of understanding. If it doesn't get done in 60 days, that's all right. We go back to bombing. I don't want to do that because it's so good. But we might have to because we're never going to let them have a nuclear weapon. But they've agreed not to, and you'll see that very clearly in the agreement.
Then Modi chuckles after Donald Trump starts talking about genital mutilization. And Modi's like, dude, what am I even watching? Let's play this clip.
No men playing in women's sports, so we want no transgender mutilization of our children. None. Those are 5 things that are 99% that's all we want.
And just so you know, while this was all going on, J.D. Vance was on CBS this morning, and he told Norah O'Donnell that he doesn't really know why you can't talk about the deal or like why you can't release the terms, because I don't really know why. It's some diplomatic thing with Qatar and Pakistan. I don't understand it. And I'll just say this. Could you imagine if former Vice President Kamala Harris went on TV and discussing a major document was asked, like, why can't the public see it? And Kamala Harris was like, I don't know. This is beyond my expertise. Dude, you're the vice president of the United States of America. You're not, no offense to me, you're not a podcast. You're not a podcaster on YouTube. Well, why do I know more about it than you do? You're the vice president. Let's play this clip.
Potential deal with Tehran. The president says he wants to put this war in the rearview mirror, and yet this framework remains silent. Why not allow the world to see whatever this deal is that you signed?
Yeah, so there are some, frankly, diplomatic protocols that I don't fully understand. The Qataris and the Pakistanis who have been helpful in mediating this agreement with the Iranians, they've asked us not to release the full text for a little while. That it'll come out at the latest on Friday. We're actually trying to push them to get it out today because we want to tell the American people what's in this deal.
Well, there you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million. And thanks for watching, everybody.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.